as an undead, not in control of my character, I do not blame you, Nacho.
Okay.
Even if he
I mean,
returns normal, he's still undead.
I'd be
You should probably...
excited, but I'm still gonna kill you, Topher, and then I want your body
No,
because
he's
I want to
gonna-
But
study
maybe
it.
it's
For
a good
science.
undead.
Should
You already had his
probably
body.
go in the other order.
Yeah, you already had
Maybe.
my body.
It's gonna be a
What?
Shaun of the Dead ending where he's got him on a chain.
Capture him alive as an undead? Wait, you would have captured him as an undead instead of a dead undead? That's dangerous.
I'm just saying, you said you wanted Topher's body, but you
Yeah.
said that you wanted Topher's
Yeah, but-
body
When
after
we
he
had
was
it.
dead.
When we kill him in his undead
Has the stream
state,
started, or are we
Want
still
the
The
waiting?
stream is still the stream has started, yeah. We're talking
Okay,
about
so this,
Topher's
we
dead
just
dead
introduced
body.
with
Yeah.
the-
we
yeah, okay.
need to cut him open and study his body and see how things
No,
went.
no,
you know?
she already had Heart's body in the biblical sense.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Apparently, I took advantage of his
Apparently, she
feelings or
really
some
liked
shit
it.
like that.
Yikes on
And then I was
Mike.
like, oh no.
What
But
have I
it's not my
done?
fault. And what, She
Hello.
was like, it's not my fault, though. Hello, everyone.
And
Hello.
welcome to Scarlet Sash Stories. This is episode 24.
My goodness,
the numbers
that's a lot
keep
of
getting
episodes.
higher, and every time I am just like astounded at how many episodes we've made.
That is
Right.
how time works.
Especially since we've taken like 3 months total off.
That's true. We've had a lot of large hiatuses. Hiati? Hiati?
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
hiati.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh yeah, grab that book.
it is.
Doing it.
This is a production of Fiends and Friends, which is all of these people here, and
And how?
this is in partnership with the ZweihanderRPG people.
Aw, yeah.
At Grim and Perilous Studios and Andrew McNeil's Universal. And we are here tonight to present to you 2 hours, roughly, of wonderful actual play content. And so we left off at an intensely dramatic moment. And so this next episode, lots of stuff is going to happen in a very short amount of time. And so we're going to have all kinds of neat things going down.
Hell yeah.
But before we do, we're going to check in with our Entreat the Darkness system for our safety tool. Are there any changes that anybody has to make to any of this?
My butthole is puckering. Could we like do something about that? Does that count?
There's like medicine probably.
I'm opposed to
Oh my
anybody
God.
referring.
What are you, some kind of doctor science boy?
I'm opposed to anybody referring to me as being dead. Can we just strike that from the?
So
He's
technically,
been unalived. He's been unalived.
He has been unalived lately.
I would
Heart
say that
stopped working.
Hart has not officially died yet.
He didn't have a
Not
pulse.
now, but soon.
I
Yeah.
didn't have a pulse and I wasn't breathing.
Yeah. So you're
Because we're
trying
basically dead.
And
to
his whole
die.
torso was crushed.
You need to have a heart to have pulse.
Yeah, and my
That's
torso
true.
is
Heart doesn't
Yeah.
have a heart. So.
Yeah, seems legit to me, man.
I just had a small epiphany.
Did you? I
The
didn't
sort
know.
of the confluence of your randomly generated name for your character and the fact that the miasma sort of lives in the heart. It's kind of like
and the fact that my chest cavity was just caved in.
yeah, so there's a lot of heart overlap
Yeah.
here.
And the fact that he was so disappointed, you might say that he was heartbroken.
He is very currently heartbroken in multiple ways right now.
I hate all of you.
The broken heart is
God damn it,
heartbroken.
Kevin.
I can think of
Sorry.
at least 3 ways in which he is heartbroken.
Plus I consumed a heart. See?
Yeah.
Like so.
Aw, yeah, that's my favorite part about this whole thing. And I
So
didn't even know it was a fucking secret. And suddenly he's
That's
like, "Yeah, I did this." And I was like,
That's a good title. If you do end up surviving through this episode, you can be Heart the Broken-Hearted.
ooh, but is it
Yeah,
spelled
what if I
like
was-
regular heart or like his name?
What if I was
You can't spell.
Yeah.
What if I was Heart the broken-hearted heart consumer?
See, now you're just getting there's too much. It's a little
Yeah, your idea is dumb.
a little
Topher.
pompous.
Oh, easy. Don't talk that way about my Topher, you son of a bitch.
Well,
So-
I
think
talk
we're
about
on
my
top.
mother that way, you son of a whore.
I'm sorry, I can't talk anymore. I'm dead, guys.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
So speaking of which, I'm joined today by 5 wonderful people. We have in the upper left Nathan, below him Topher, our proverbial dead heart. In the corner, Cody.
What's good?
In the bottom middle, Chris. And on the bottom right, Ignacio. And of course, myself, Hunter, the game master of Scarlet Sash stories. And so I think we're ready to just get it on, as it were. So, the moment we ended last session was the philosopher standing proud over the decapitated body of the Minotaur Lord, holding aloft in his colossal hand the freshly torn heart, riven through with dark miasma. And he took a bite, and we ended session. At that moment, there were a few things sort of transpiring. Corna had just landed her tower in
Hell yeah.
here in Pertswell, heeding the
Fucking
call
sick.
of the doctor and her Scarlet
I'm
Sash
super hyped about
companions.
this. My friend is here.
Hart has seemingly died. He, in a daring high payoff move, engaged the Minotaur Lord in direct combat. Let me scroll up
Oh,
and
let's
see.
Yeah, I think it was like 30,
You
upper
fucking
30s,
murked
like
his
almost
ass,
40
dude.
damage.
If we can get
Let's
some
see if we
rock
can
to add
find
that
it.
damage. I can't do the rock anymore because I'm not subbed anymore, which makes me sad.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Topher dealing 31 damage in a single hit with Heart's Bane, which brought the Minotaur down to just the edge of death. In retaliation, though, the Minotaur landed a punch, a single strike with its tree trunk arms, sent Hart skidding across the stone of Meridian Square, if at the slain condition. But this game system we're using, ZweihanderRPG, affords players the opportunity to earn as well as keep little points or tokens called fate points, which they can effectively spend to get out of death free.
It is very apropos to this campaign, a get out of jail free card.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so each one of these characters has 2 right now, because you get one as a base, and you can get another one for taking a flaw.
Always take the flaw.
Hart, if he doesn't want to die, will be spending a fate point right now and negating this death, putting him at grievously wounded. And so part of what we're going to be doing today is figuring out how that works. So we've got the philosopher taking a bite of the heart. We've got Cornus Tower having just landed. Hart lays dead on the stones here. You are surrounded by the stinking corpses of beastmen, as well as every single commoner soldier that you brought into this combat survived this final charge.
Somehow.
Which is significant.
Insane. You dunked on him. Some of those guys were like, "Look at me! I just did like 28 damage."
Yeah, the dice were so strongly in the favor of the characters last session.
Oh yeah.
It was
they really
insane.
were.
So yeah, you've got like 20, at least 20 of these commoner soldiers here, sort of surrounding all of these events that are sort of transpiring at the same time. You've got your other Sash bearer companions, Halora, Borwin, and Halal, sort of all here as well. And so here's generally how things begin to go down. The philosopher takes a bite out of this Minotaur Lord's heart and swallows this colossal amount of miasma to complete his ascension, as it were. He chews and swallows, takes another bite, and is immediately stricken by this like body, like full body reaction as light pours from his eyes and mouth as he's facing the sky holding this heart, and the heart itself seemingly evaporates into like flesh mist as the miasma
I see.
forms almost as like a will of its own and siphons down into his throat, into his body.
Oh yeah. Eat it, big guy.
Something that some of you have witnessed on a smaller scale before. This sort of interest or like the miasma has a will or an intention that it acts on its own. Which, for those of you who are joining us and haven't seen the previous episodes, Hart, our dead dwarf companion, has experienced this exact phenomenon before, having touched some miasma to his tongue and it grabbing hold and seeking entrance into his body. So the philosopher stands in the center of Meridian Square here, screaming, pouring multicolored light from his eyes and mouth into the sky. Hart lays dead. The wind begins to swirl around you. And for Lillian and Celine, you sense, even without like trying, that the winds of magic here, something is disturbing them or controlling them. And if you remember,
I flagged the airship to run away.
yeah. If you remember, the reason for all of this is that here in Pertswell, specifically here in the center of the town, is equidistant between two sister confluxes of the Winds of Magic. So one side where the castle is the ordered conflux, where the winds sort of pass parallel to each other very nicely. It allows wizards and mages and people who are sensitive to magic to do very powerful things, because you can access this flowing energy without much trouble. On the flip side, the stone circle where the philosopher has been residing is the chaotic conflux, where they mix and mingle and there's no up, down, or left or right to the winds. Also very potent, powerfully magical, but in a different way. And so the intention here in the middle is to utilize both of those properties in conjunction with the philosopher attaining enough miasma to contact the fallen orc's god that you have seen. And so something big begins to happen. The winds are swirling in a clockwise pattern around you, kicking up like dirt and small debris. The clouds above you begin to condense and coalesce in this like eye of the hurricane pattern here. Like it was probably like mid-afternoon, and things darken very rapidly. And so Lillian flags the airship, gives the signal of like, get the heck out of here. Your soldiers, they're kind of standing around, like there's still an air of like triumph, like, oh my gosh, we did this. We're all here. Nobody's missing any limbs or anything. But the philosopher has, seemingly without communicating to anybody, initiated this ritual or transcendence or whatever it is, and it's going. It's happening right now.
Oh, yeah.
Nesgrin, you feel a familiar inkling in your mind as your brother, he sort of asserts himself to the forefront of your thoughts, and what you feel is fear. A like primal terror from this piece of your brother that has transferred to you. And he says in your head, with like equal parts assertion and just absolute terror, he says, Nesgrin, run.
So I look at everyone and I do like, I don't like to be here. So
Just slow turn my head. Like my eyes like trying to keep them from going wide.
And the air continues to
I'm going
swirl.
home.
And
So
there's brief moments where not only is the air swirling around you, there's like little fractions of time where you kind of feel like a tug of like you're drifting and then snap back to yourself as this power is surging around the philosopher here.
Like, when you say, like, us, do you mean, like, our bodies, or, like...
It's more of, like, your perception. It's, like, it's kind of
Okay.
like being drunk or high or something like that, where you just kind of, like, slide a little bit, and then you're back to where you are. But it follows this, like, clockwise...
Or like being ripped out of your body.
There's...
Yeah.
So the view's very pretty here, guys, but hi.
And
So,
yeah, and your brother says, I don't know what is going to happen, but something big is happening. Like I am whatever I am right now, I can feel this.
Okay, I'm starting to. Well, guys, I think it's time to leave. I don't like here. This is not normal, and we are dealing
you're
with things that
certainly
are
right.
not normal. So if this is like not normal for us, it's like pretty much not a good place to be. So I grab Hart from his here and start pulling Hart away also.
And
I
then
will
go ahead.
Like,
ride
grab-
up on my
grab-
pony,
grab-
and we can haul him onto the back of my
Yeah.
pony.
I take whatever troops are with me nearby, and I go towards Corna's tower.
Yeah, so you're rallying the squads, heading towards the southwest here. Nab and Nesgrin are next to Hart's body, getting ready to load him onto the horse. What is Celine doing?
Okay, so they're all kind of gathering, getting ready to head towards the tower. Are there, like, windows in the tower?
Yeah, so Corna if you remember from like like 7 months ago.
Like episode 4.
Yeah, so
Balcony or something.
Yeah, so the tower itself is basically solid stone until the top, where there's this like, what's the like a
Parapet?
gazebo kind of thing? Yeah, like it's got
Okay.
4 openings and then the balcony and everything. And last you heard, she like did her voice amplification thing and addressed you guys like, I heard you need help. And so she's there in the tower.
So I'm gonna head up to that gazebo thing because I feel like that's safer. And since people are starting to move and I have no idea what's happening and there's pulling, and I want to watch from up there.
Okay, and the tower is a good ways away, having decimated like blocks of this city upon its landing.
How far are we talking?
Like 50-ish feet. It's not like
that's
way far away.
I was gonna say, if it's like a few blocks, I still have like the periscope, I believe, so. Or the spyglass? Yeah, the spyglass,
Yeah.
not the periscope.
So everybody is sort of like feeling this change in the air and sort of in the fabric of reality. And the philosopher yells out, louder, amplified, but also like seemingly coming from him at the center of the square and kind of like everywhere and like really far away. He calls out, Sash bearers, I found him.
Well, what does he want?
I can make something, but I need help.
God, with what?
And he has all the numbers.
Just tell us all the numbers. Just write down a coordinates. The philosopher says, this power threatens to overwhelm me. I need guidance, centering. I can make a bridge.
Centering.
So you need us to magically guide you?
Yes. Feel the winds. Tap in and follow my voice.
Oh hell. Alright, the rest of you get to safety, we're fucked.
Celine's doing it.
Yeah, I'll do it too.
Doesn't even miss a beat. She's like, fuck
Like,
yeah, I can see
Evil arcane magic on one side, like honorable holy magic on the other side. This is fucked. This is
sex magic. Thank you very much. It's not
Yeah, like,
necessarily
It's
evil.
not necessarily
Well, for you,
evil.
It wouldn't be evil if it was someone else.
It's not true. Because if you go into this, you become a. You get marked by your daemon, basically.
Yeah, not evil.
So-
Just demon magic.
Heart. You are aware of all of this. You are watching kind of like a bird's eye view, but it's like a weird out of body kind of like dreamlike state.
Okay. All right.
And you can see your broken body in the hands of Nesgrin and Nabeen here.
Yeah.
And you see Celine and Lillian sort of begin to move to take places on either side of the philosopher, who is just like full of magic. And you can see, you can perceive the winds like you never have before, being kind of like in this limbo space as like a spirit sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But you begin to feel your body again. And you feel there is a change taking place.
Okay.
Do you remember how the doctor described the miasma and sort of how orcs kind of work and that sort of thing?
Mm-hmm.
So you can tell that your body is in the process of orcifying. You have died after having come in contact with the miasma, and it is changing you. And normally this process takes longer than this. But there is some kind of strange event nearby that is supercharging the miasma in your body. A considerable amount, from the last 3 exposures that you have experienced. But you also feel above you your roommate.
Yes.
But also a chill presence looks upon you. It feels kind of aloof, but also there's I guess judgment is kind of the best word.
Yeah.
And so what do you as this spirit do right now?
Well, I want to take over my... Actually, do I feel like I can help in my current state?
You do. You are more than anyone here, at least right now, enmeshed with this magical event. Because you had just died right before the philosopher initiated this ritual.
Can I understand what types of abilities that I have right now?
Yeah, so you remember the way Celine described the magic circle, this sort of like being able to direct yourself and enact things and maybe communicate and that sort of thing. You also heard, in sort of a different way than everybody else, the philosopher announce that, he's gonna try and do something. He's found where the body of the Orcs god is, and he's going to try and build a bridge, is the word he used, to that location.
So I want to try to connect and share my power with him to build the bridge.
Okay.
But-
Roll me incantation plus 30.
That's gonna make him almost as good as one of us.
Being
Right.
dead has its perks.
He's like, I may be a dunderhead, but I can feel the
Is that a crit success?
God.
Ooh, that's some ghost magic.
Yeah.
Damn.
Fuck
Starting off
yeah.
strong.
Fuck
And so
yeah.
you brush up against the consciousness of the philosopher, and he's kind of like distributed everywhere right now. He's not like in his body. He is part of this swirling and like
So,
go ahead.
so I want to kind of like tether him to Celine and Lillian to keep him grounded,
Excellent. So
and I want to share my power to help him build the bridge.
you cast a tether from where you are, like centered above the philosopher here, where the energy is pouring into the sky, and you tether to Celine, binding this like strange relationship that you have with this horrible creature that you call a friend. And Celine, you immediately recognize this. You know this is Heart. Like, Heart has bound you, has shown you a path in this swirling miasma to follow the philosopher here.
And at the same time, as I tethered to Lillian, I almost like let loose my consciousness and the memories of what I've done to Lillian. So I share with her about the miasma that I initially ingested. I share with her the memory of me consuming the miasmic heart of the hand orcs, the stuff that happened with Celine, the way that my character's stats increased every time I touched it, and the feeling of sorrow and the understanding that I was just trying to get stronger for her.
Do you share with her what you know about your body right now?
Everything.
So Lillian, you square up on the other side of the philosopher here, and bam, you are slammed with this like consciousness that you know again is encoded with Heart. Every aspect of this communication that links you to the philosopher and floods you with these like feelings and emotions and events that you didn't know about it, and like, oh, like that's why Heart was being so cagey this entire day. Like, you knew there was something wrong, and it floods into you.
It smells like whiskey and blood.
Yeah. And you also know that Heart's body is rapidly changing. Like right now, you can look over, and what appeared to be just, dead Heart, his corpse, you can tell in the winds of magic and even like very subtle physical things that he is orcsifying.
Does Nabeen notice this?
Nabeen.
Carrying the body.
Nabeen and Nesgrin, you guys should give me like, I would take medicine or perception. One of you should roll and the other should aid, if possible.
I have folklore.
Folklore would be perfect if both of you have folklore.
I don't think I do. It's under what?
Folklore is under intelligence.
Folklore is
Yeah, I don't
intelligence.
have it. You don't have to be trained in it.
Let's
Or
see.
scrutinize.
So,
Could be
yeah.
scrutinize as well, because it could be like
Yeah, scrutinize
Yeah.
would be
I'll assist
getting things.
sure.
if you have points in any of those, because I don't.
I
It's
have
weird
no
that you
scrutinize.
don't have medicine. So I feel like
Me?
yeah, as a soldier, I would have
No.
assumed that you would.
Nope.
She was just a very irresponsible soldier.
Heal. So yeah,
If-
in
Your hand
this
blows up, then you should have shot better.
Go ahead, Nacho.
Should I roll scrutinize?
Yeah, you
shoot.
could do scrutinize with Nabeen assisting.
Do you have scrutinize, Naveen? Or we should
In
do-
this case, we will allow the assist without the ranks,
Okay.
as this whole thing
Weird.
is going down all at the same time.
Okay,
It's
so
the
it's standard.
D10 for me, right?
Standard.
Yep, just regular.
Ooh.
Rough.
Oh no.
Ooh.
Oh no.
That's 3 7s.
Can I attempt, since they've failed spectacularly, can I attempt to roll another incantation and maybe just share an image to Nabeen's mind of like my body and what's happening to it?
Yes. And this will knock your bonus down to 20 as you are multitasking now. This is something that Hart has never experienced before. Nice.
Jesus, Heart.
So I just want to share with her like the image of the body orxifying, like and like the thought of a warning to her brain.
And for Nabeen, this is, I'm trying to think of a good analogy.
It's gonna hit her like a ton of bricks.
Yeah, it's like remembering you left the oven on and you're 6 hours down the highway.
Mm-hmm.
You realize as you're like hauling Hart's crushed body to get onto your pony with Nesgrin here, you're like, wait a second. I know what happens to dead people after they've been in like close contact with orcs. Like, this is something, and you sort of like put all these puzzle pieces together. You're like, we're in one of the most powerful magical events to happen in your memory of history, besides the star falling. And you look down and you see these subtle changes as Hart's skin is kind of like crawling and with little bumps, and you can see the joints and muscles re-knitting very slowly, in a process that would normally take like a week or two, is like speed running in the presence of this ridiculous magical energy.
So I am just going to release my hold on his corpse, and with my other hand, I'm going to pull my pony around so we can't put him on there, and just be like, we need to go. He's mutating. We need to beat feet now.
Damn.
Are we going to leave Hart? And we can stop it?
Nab has no idea about these things.
If you
She's
get
still-
him to Corna, she might be able to help. I cry out as my head is still splitting.
All right.
Do you have something to bind him?
Where is the tower on the map? I don't
It
think we
is
have
to
drawn in
the.
anywhere.
It's this
the bottom
big
gray
gray
circle.
square. Yeah.
Okay,
So, I'm also shape blind,
Weird.
by the way. I don't know if you guys knew that.
If we give him more
It's,
miasma,
it's
do you think
ovular.
it help?
Remember we learned that word today.
If we give him more miasma, will it help? It'll help something.
Yeah. I like
Okay,
Gotcha's idea.
No.
Psycho.
No. Okay.
Oh
Do,
man.
do we have something to tie him up to like secure him? So
I would-
he
I
doesn't
would-
attack us?
I would say that one of you two would have rope. Probably Nabeen would have some rope as part of her cavalry kit sort of thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and plus we had the rope that I do have a rope because that's what me and Ranslet did.
oh yeah, you did the rope trick.
Rover.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so you still have that.
Wait, you're gonna like bandit drag me with a rope?
No, I'm gonna tie you up and then
Oh, okay.
bandit drag you
That's
with a
fine.
rope. No.
Yeah, either way, he'll be fine. He already did.
Yeah.
Just dragging
Yeah.
my dead corpse through the dirt.
It's not that you're going to suffer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll feel
You're
it.
already dead, man.
Yeah,
What about when I wake up though?
Come on,
Who knows what you'll even be when you wake up?
come on. I'm trying not to leave you here, and you're
Yeah,
complaining.
we're
that
already
you dragged
going out
me?
of our way.
I'm like arguing with Ignacio's mind.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So-
Yeah, we'll tie him up and just haul him onto my pony and
So Nabeen, you and Nesgrin are binding Hart's corpse as it's
Mrs. Nesrum.
changing between the two of you. And you see Nesgrin clutch her ears and sort of fall to her knees as your brother screams in your head, Nesgrin. Again, this like primal terror, and he says, Nesgrin, don't let go of me. And you feel something sliding in a realm that you have barely ever perceived before, like a vertebrae is being pulled from your spine very slowly to the left as this like swirling energy. And the rest of you hear sort of in the distance this voice get louder of, Nesgrin, don't let go of me.
So
I know who that is.
Catch him.
So
Physically doing.
how do you think? What would Nesgrin? How do you think you would try to do this? Would this be like you trying to tap into some like incantation stuff, or are you like calming him down?
Are you punching his soul?
You like punch his soul back into your head?
Yeah.
Jesus.
If you can punch a ghost, those are some pretty special stasis you have.
Right.
Yeah. We
Yeah,
could
that's
try
why he
to
was them.
anchor him with some memory of our parents. Because I
Okay.
don't have good memories with him because I hate him. But I will try to do
So
that. And anchoring him inside me because my parents split my soul to save him. So stay here, motherfucker, you're not going anywhere.
Are you revealing to him like you can't fuck this up because this is what happened?
Yeah.
Okay, so roll me do you think that would be like charm? Or like what is this interaction? Cuz obviously you guys have this conflict, right?
It sounds like more of a
Intimidate the
resolve
fuck out of it.
test.
Yeah, like I could do resolve, I could do intimidate. It's sort of how you are presenting this to your brother.
Intimidation.
You want intimidation? I'll show you intimidation.
Oh, yeah.
That's a hard call. I will go with resolve first.
Okay.
Try to like convince or
Like snatch him back.
Yeah, it's almost like
snatch
a
him back,
force of
give
wills.
him like a thing to get in, to struggle, to fight, to still get inside me.
Okay.
And not run away. You know, like
Yeah.
give him strength.
Tell him to stay inside you.
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe. Hey, did it.
Hey.
And so you show your little brother the day of his birth and how he was born dead, but through this sort of strange, not even like very clear or like well defined ritual, your parents and you, in that moment of him emerging dead, you shattered and split, and that part of your soul went into him and gave him life. And it's this like series of images of this like small, feeble little newborn suddenly beginning to cry right after being born, and the relief that fills your parents in this moment. And it's again that those like all of the bits falling into place of as he reflects on his life and your guys' relationship being so rocky and struggling, and he slides back, and there's like a brief pause as this wind is whipping around you, and you're tying your dead friend's arms to his body and everything.
Jesus.
And your brother says, I didn't know.
How
Damn.
would you know? You were dead, man.
And
Fuck.
so you guys begin to tie Hart and attempt to load him on the pony, as from sprinting through this furrow of destruction that has been wrought across the city, Corna comes charging towards the square and skids to a halt, sort of next, near where Lillian and Celine are channeling with the philosopher here, and she stares wide-eyed, mouth agape at this pillar of energy that is emanating into the sky, and you hear her say, "He's done it. He's there. What? How can I help?"
I think you have to show him the light, or something like that. He screams something like
Got
that.
him
I
or
don't know.
something. By the way, I
Pick
missed
this
something.
guy up
don't
and
know.
put him on this pony.
And she looks
That's-
between Nabeen and Nezgrin and Celine.
Do something useful and help our friend.
I reach out to Corna's mind and I just ask her if she can help me at all.
And she looks left and right, and then she you can tell she falls into the witch site, and then boom, locks eyes with you, Hart, as you are sort of presence above the
And I
the
motion to my
philosopher
body.
here. And she follows your motion, and there is a wash. You see the color drains from her face as she immediately clocks what's going on, and she rushes over to kneel next to Nezgrin and Nabeen here, and she looks at the two of you, who she's never met either of you. But sees the sashes, sort of understands the relationship here, puts a hand on Hart's crushed, mangled chest, and she says, I've never seen it go this fast before. You know he's changing, right?
We know.
And you know he's still here, right?
Oh yeah.
Well, if he changes, he can't come back to this body.
Ooh. So what
Can
should
you
we do?
stop
Cut
it?
his arm?
I think I can stop it.
What if we bring him back now? Will that stop his changing? Because if he can't come back after he changed, maybe if he come back sooner, maybe he stopped changing.
And so she turns, and you see her look at a point in the air, sort of 10 feet above where the philosopher is, and voicelessly communicates with you, Hart. Eyes glaze over as she's focusing, and she says, your body is changing. You have a chance here with all of this energy. You can come back.
And
I look up to that same point and I'm like, you stupid son of a bitch, what have you done?
she can see the understanding on my face, but the confusion as to what I'm supposed to do.
And she asks you, what, like, how long, I guess the best question is, what are you going to do, Heart? Are you, like, and the implication is, are you staying as this spiritual anchor between the philosopher and Lillian and Celine? Are you intending to come back and fight the miasma for your body? Is there some other goal or
If I leave now, does the anchor between the philosopher and Celine and Lillian go away?
No. The mechanical terms, you will not be contributing roles to this, like, stabilization process.
But they can remain grounded to
but
him. If
you
I
will
leave
be
now.
providing a bonus to your companions by having established that anchor.
If I stay.
If you leave, so your attention will then be directed to your body and your sort of recovering of it, and so your roles will contribute to that effort. But if you stay, your body will continue to change, and you can provide roles to the stabilization effort of this building a bridge, as the philosopher called it.
I think that if I was playing true to my character, I would choose the selfless option and worry more about helping my friends than my own body.
Absolutely.
Damn.
And so Korna receives, almost like you guys aren't even communicating verbally anymore. It's like emotive, like flashes of imagery and thought processes and
emotions.
Yeah, lines of emotion. And she, like, her brow furrows, and then she immediately understands, like, looks between Lillian and Celine, and she basically says to you, "I'll do my best," and turns back to your body. And the three of you, Lillian, Hart, and Celine, as you cement this anchor here between you three and the philosopher, he, like, basically you could tell he had, like, shackled some of this energy within him. He feels this connection, like, trifecta that you've built, and he lets loose all of these, like, reserves that he'd been holding back. He screams into the air this titanic noise, and you hear sort of from the surrounding the square here, Lillian, your dogs and wolves have arrived, and they howl with the philosopher into the sky, and the three of you are pulled spiritually, similar to what happened when you first, like, discovered the body of the fallen Orcs god. You are torn into the winds of magic and launch on this familiar path of wending and winding, blinding scenery going by faster than you've ever traveled, and you are there again. You are atop this peak at the end of the world, where the body of this god is prone, chest burst open, the largest stalk of a mushroom growing from him, and just crisscrossed with machinery and like small buildings and pathways and bridges of Skurzak engineering surrounding him, and there are hundreds of them just scurrying and harvesting pieces of the mushroom, climbing over his body in between his ribs. They have like labs and machines and arcane objects that you couldn't even begin to discern the purpose of, and you're observing all of this in this like distributive consciousness, and you hear the voice of the philosopher, and he says, I can put something here to bring us here, but I need help. This is too much power. It threatens to consume me.
I will bear the burden of power for you.
As will I.
I'm here to help and have a good time.
And you sort
I
of
give all mine to Celine.
Yeah.
It explodes.
Lillian's like, you're gonna have fun with it? Here.
Just misted, like
Yep.
end of Supernatural. Just
Yep. This bridge, the philosopher says, it will connect Meridian Square to this place, this mountain. And we need to put it somewhere where, like, he's saying the exit for this bridge needs to be somewhere here, obviously, so that you can get here and find it. And it needs to be somewhere where the Skurzak can't interfere with it.
okay.
And you're surveying this jagged peak. And he says, where should we focus this power?
Where in this other place or in Meridian Square?
In the other place. On this mountain,
my God.
where the
Is there a cave? Is there?
and
There's a cave, all right. It's his anus.
They're
And
like
so
crawling.
he'll be like questioningly like, can we do that? His anus?
They're crawling all over his body, aren't they?
So heart, and this is again like, it's like kind of words, it's kind of like washes of emotion and intent. You hear Heart think, oh, a cave, and then immediately from Celine you get just like bombarded with the picture of the like a colossal godly anus.
Oh my God.
And the philosopher, being like, he's like barely holding on to this like conduit that he has become.
Shit.
And you are all sort of scattered to various places and areas on this mountain. Heart, you are sent to, wending along near like a few hundred feet down this mountain. There is a crack where like a cliff face has shifted over the millennia, and you travel through into this like sort of vertical ravine and find a cave that it has a nice like natural dome to it, and you are shown this as the philosopher is basically like magical radar scanning this entire area,
Yeah, I transmit the imagery of the cave and its location to everybody.
Celine, you are sent to the god's anus. You fly over and around the stalk of this colossal mushroom, down between the legs of this like prone splayed figure, and very similar to what Hart has seen, except for it is the giant flesh slabs of this creature's ass cheeks.
Oh my
You perceive through to the muscle that would make the sphincter go in, and are in a cave that is made of god meat, as it were.
Look, are there Skurzak here or not?
There are no Skurzak here.
It could work. Nobody's gonna appreciate it, but it could work.
And Lillian, did you have a particular interest or intent for this portion of it?
I have no idea. None of it seems good or safe.
I don't know, the anus seems safe yet.
I just project one word to Celine, and it's just no.
You said there was like a deep crag that I could go to?
So Hart, you are sort of like feeling these like parallel washes of consciousness as Hart is like, hey, I found a rocky natural cave. And Celine is like, hey, I also found a natural cave. It's the asshole of a god.
Well, I'll split the difference and I'll go to his ears.
So you travel across the split chest of this dead god where the mushroom stalk is emerging, over walkways and laboratories and other Skurzak implements to his face, and you immediately understand that this is like a headquarters sort of thing, and as you fly through these like rooms and towers and bridges and everything that cover the face of this god, into the ear, you pass dozens of Skurzak that are clamoring around in the skull and head of this dying god.
So I picked bad?
You didn't pick bad, you just picked somewhere where there are Skurzak.
You gained valuable information.
Am I dropped out there?
No. You are still spiritual, incorporeal, and this is basically reconnaissance. And the philosopher booms to each of you, where, and you can hear the strain as if he is holding up the sky with his...
I assert my location and imagery again.
Cave.
Yeah, I'll go to his. I'll go to Heart's.
Damn it. I'm
Okay,
still gonna assert
so-
my dominance.
I need a resolve from Hart, assisted by Lillian, and a resolve from Celine on her own.
I don't want to go to ass.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
Oh, man. Come on. Nope, no critical success. Nope, I lose. Damn.
Yeah. So Hart
I
with a
won't spend
10.
fortune point for this.
Did you roll?
Do not.
I rolled, but I said I will not spend a fortune point for this.
I don't see your roll.
Oh, did it? Oh, shit. I didn't send it through.
No,
oh,
you didn't.
that was I was looking at Nesgrin's roll.
Yeah.
And then I saw Topher's is the 90, and I thought that was mine. Okay, so let me try this again. I mean, I succeeded, but not on the same level. So
Yeah. So the you are all yoinked back up into the sky here above the mushroom and the god. And he says, "We have a place." And you feel this like vibration building as you are all transported to this little cave, sort of lower down on the mountain here, away from all of the activity. And
mine's better.
You all fly into there, and he says, "I'll place it here." And then whiplash as you don't like travel back across this distance. You are just shunted from like your perception of where you are back to Meridian Square in an instant. And it's like dump shock radiates through your nerves as your body comes back, or your soul comes back to your body. You're standing here like channeling with the philosopher, and you see he like subtly shifts his position, and he like brings his hands around and is like coalescing this swirling terrible energy around you. And Korna kneels over the body of Heart.
Boy.
And she runs her hands over, feeling magically this parasite that is slowly overtaking him. And he looks to Nesgrin and Nabeen, and she says, "Please, cut him free."
Okay.
Alright.
Oh, all right.
And she
No.
like hands hovering inches over, and she says, "Hurry, take the armor off."
I just
Okay.
look at Nesgrin and I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't wanna...
And
no, I will start unfastening the.
you
buckles and what have you.
realize that as you start unfastening and trying to remove Heart's armor,
Mhm.
parts of this plate mail have been so like furiously dented that it is like caved into his like chest cavity and stuff. And so I need the two of you in some fashion to force this armor off of Heart's body. This is going to be like athletics, strengthy sort of
And I-
thing.
Interrogate it out of him.
Now look here, Mr. Armor. We've got a lot of stuff going on. It'd be really nice if you just come off.
Literally, the only thing that I have trained that I might be useful in or that I could see being able to spin it would be warfare. Animal.
Oh, hell yeah, warfare. This is,
Okay.
you have donned and doffed armor at least as much as Heart, more than anybody else here.
Okay.
And Nesgrin, do you have a particular contributing skill?
I could use athletics, maybe.
Sure.
Listen, Nab, just roll
Yeah.
leadership and tell it to get off.
Jesus.
Listen, you stupid fuck.
I
Not
lie
actually
to her.
trained in leadership.
I lie to the armor.
You lie to the armor?
Yeah. He guiles
You
it.
say, look, if you come off, we will polish you so nice afterward.
Get all those
I
dents
know
out.
What about
Great
resolve?
blacksmith that will do wonderful.
Resolve,
Your chest.
not so much.
Okay. I kind of figured. I was just hopeful.
Yeah.
You sure interrogation won't work? What am I rolling?
A flat warfare.
Okay.
As
If
you
Celine was here,
Yeah.
she could ride it off him. Wait.
yeah, and so you are like unfastening the straps, and you're like, okay, I've seen this type of injury before, like a glancing cannonball shot or something would have done this to like a breastplate. And so you begin to like try and pry this armor off, with Nesgrin at your side, and Nesgrin goes full frail elderly Hulk mode.
And we could get athletics.
Yep. Nice.
Go.
That's a success. And so
I
the
don't
two of
think
you
I've had a successful roll for like ever.
for a few sessions. I mean, you've shot a lot of people. That's fair.
Yeah.
And so the two of you begin stripping Hart of this absolutely
One night with me and the miasma in the bean, and you'll be rolling all good.
this absolutely like mangled armor. Literally, like, because this is more of a brute force thing between the two of you, like pulling where the armor was like embedded in his chest, like sliding it out from between his ribs and stuff, and throwing these pieces to the side.
I imagine there's a big piece that I'm like, give me my horse, and I just tie the rope to it and stand on him, and
hold him down, and it like slorps out of his chest wound. And so you fully remove Hart's armor, and he's laying there in like basically just his under armor tunic. And you can see in the tears and the pieces of the cloth that are missing and everything, again, that like uncanny crawling of the skin where like little nodules of miasma are migrating to and fro. And Corna, she closes her eyes and flexes her hands out over him, and we will roll her incantation.
Come on, Corna. I believe.
That
No good.
is as bad as possible. A critical failure from Corna. And she and
The imagery and words that I transmit to her mind are, "Come on, Corna, a little lower."
and you don't receive a reply. She is like immediately like sweat beading on her brow. She's standing over kneeling over your body here, and Nesgrin and Nabeen, you hear her kind of under her breath. She's like, I don't understand. And she's like,
Do I feel like I'm still needed with the philosopher and
So,
the ladies over here?
coming back to you guys, the philosopher begins to, using the will of his intent, bend this colossal magical energy, this like concentration of the winds of magic that is pouring through him. And as he's said a few times before, you see like, when something is like really powerful in an anime and you get kind of like the god rays that are shooting out of them in like these like strong angles of pure energy, you are perceiving that it's not like necessarily physical, but it's not just in like the winds of magic. He is splitting at the seams with this energy. There are like beams of multicolored light kind of pouring from seams in reality that kind of like appear to originate from him. And he is communicating now, not in words, because he can't like possibly speak at this point, but like flashes of imagery and intent where he's like basically showing you, I'm going to build this portal, this bridge, and I'm going to try to put it here in Meridian Square, and I'm going to try and do it in a way that, like, doesn't entirely consume us. And he sort of gives you that us, like, this is all of us. But, you know, it's dicey. This is more energy than has ever flowed through an orc's. And so you get the impression, Hart, that you very much could still be potentially useful here. But you, having snapped back here to Meridian Square, you feel your body again, sort of almost like an itch that's 10 feet away, but you feel the changes beginning to take shape. And you feel Korna's, like, nervousness and, like, not understanding this miasma that's been supercharged.
I think that I will dive back towards my body and try to find a way to help.
Okay. And so you shift your intent here in this swirl of magic, and you feel again at your back and sort of above that, like, chill presence that's watching and sort of, like, I guess judging is the right word here, but it doesn't feel like
Malicious?
Yeah, it's more of like an assessment.
Can I understand? Can I investigate as I'm moving towards my body? Can I see, like, what this feeling is?
Yes. And you could do awareness, incantation, folklore.
I think I'm gonna stick with incantation since I'm still getting a bonus to that.
Yeah, so you get the plus 20. And you recognize immediately this presence that you felt most strongly back at the abandoned church after having killed the hand orcs, where you and Lillian enacted this benediction in the eyes of the Winter King, binding you and her in this like sacred sworn relationship of
matrimony.
Of not it's way more like
I know.
martial and more strongly religious, I guess, than like a marriage. And you perceive the Winter King, or at least some facet of this deity, is directly observing Meridian Square and taking in everything that is happening.
I want to attempt to elicit some sort of direction from that being. Like, I want to lock eyes with them or connect with them in some way and almost, like, without words, plead for some sort of direction or instruction.
You pray for real for the first time,
Probably for the first time in my
your
life.
This is the most, like, pious sort of acknowledgement of the, like, potential of greater powers in the world, of more than just coin in your purse and a sharp sword in your hand. The idea of doing something for a greater purpose. And the chilly blast of his voice responds to you and says, reclaim your body, purge the filth.
Oh.
Straight. Purge that filth.
I look in Lillian's direction to see if she is aware of what's happening.
Yeah. I would say that Lillian is absolutely aware of the eyes of the Winter King upon this ritual, and tangentially aware, obviously, that you are still here, like you're dead, but your spirit, you three communed with the philosopher. You were all sort of washing amongst each other. And so she knows, like, you, and of course you sent that message, that confession, the repentance and everything.
All those emotions.
Yeah. So she knows, like, there's no doubt that Lillian is aware of some sort of higher level experience that you are having amongst all of this.
I solemnly almost bow my head and continue moving the rest of the way towards my body.
All right. Corna feels you approach, and she, terror, almost like terror in her eyes, sweat on her forehead. She stands over Heart's body, which is beginning to like kind of writhe on its own, and like little tusks are growing under his lip, and she asks of Nabeen and Nesgrin, hold him down, he's here.
Oh, I'll hold his legs.
I can try.
I'm a pretty strong dwarf.
And she says,
Because I'm not a
Where's
strong
Heart's
girl.
sword, actually?
what was that?
Where's Heart's sword?
On the ground next to him. You guys were like getting ready to load everything up.
Okay, so I'll put it far away from here.
You kick this giant sword a few more feet away.
Yeah, and then I grab him.
And he is
the single sword that almost decapitated a minotaur.
Yep. His body is violently convulsing, and you see the eyes.
Over and have it sit on him.
Eyes fluttering.
Don't sit on my chest. It's kind of weak right now.
Yeah, there's there's some damage there. And
That's a lot of damage.
Corna says to the air, Heart, we can do this together, but something is happening that I've never seen before. I don't understand. So
I pray for the Winter King's blessing, and I attempt to like rejoin my body.
And she feels your intent, and basically she funnels you like through her and casts you into your body. And you slam home into this like crumpled, mangled corpse that you've always known, and something else is here with you.
Chan chan.
And I want to summon all of my willpower to just expel it from my body.
And you concentrate this like spirit energy drawing from the winds of this ritual.
That's your power.
Yeah.
Spirit bomb.
And Nesgrin and Nabeen, you in contact with Heart here are flooded with basically what Heart is experiencing. This like entering the body and perceiving this other that is slowly overtaking, and you are sort of forcefully pushed from like your own perception. You kind of get that like, again, like out of body sort of thing where you kind of see yourself holding down Heart's like writhing body, but you're feeling this battle. And so Heart, what are you rolling to overcome this parasite that is taking your body from you? What is your...
Resolve is the only thing that makes sense.
Resolve is perfect. Nezgrin...
Since I have like a split soul, could I just command my brother to go help and then help Heart and then return?
Yeah.
Dude, I like
Am I able
so-
to? Is the Winter King going to help me potentially with a 10%?
Yes.
Or
So
is he just gonna let me do
you
this on my own?
you get a bonus of plus
Do it
10.
minus 20, frankly.
you get a bonus of -10 from
For
the
being
Winter King.
for constantly disregarding your superior, acting
Oh,
dishonorably.
my
Damn.
god, Topher, you are
Damn, you're
crushing
so
it tonight.
How
Yep.
how is a
Lucky.
critical success for you?
So,
Just lucky.
Nezgrin and Nabeen, you perceive... Nezgrin, you sort of, you ask or direct your brother, you say, help with this. Like, leave me
Useful.
and get in there and see if there's something you can do. And
Useful for one time in your life.
be useful for one time in your
Matter.
undeath. And Heart, you are innervated, supercharged with the like blessing of the Winter King, the presence of your companions here. Corna is willing you to resist the change that she has struggled with for as long as she can remember, this like inability to control yourself, and you slam home into your flesh, filling every inch of your body with this new like steely cold resolve, and basically condense this miasma into a like manageable, like spiritual, like prison cell within yourself, which is conveniently your heart. And you know now, here within yourself, outside of the eyes of any other being, that you could keep this miasma imprisoned if you wanted, or could expel it from
You said
yourself.
outside of the eyes of any other
Of
being.
any other being.
Damn,
This is
that crit.
This is purely Heart and his miasma and your willpower containing it, reversing the orcification.
Through this experience, do I gain any knowledge or understanding of what exactly the miasma is and if it has a will of its own?
Yes. The miasma is, as far as you can perceive, in the way that the Witch Stone is condensed chaos, condensed like magic that's been like precipitated physically in the world, miasma is like a living expression of magic and chaos that seemingly acts with a willpower. It's not like, as far as you can tell with this small bit you have here, not a sentience that you can like communicate with, but it seeks to propagate itself.
Okay.
It's like mold.
It's a reproduction.
Well, in Heart's newfound understanding and knowledge of the danger this miasma poses if I just release it from my body, I choose to keep it imprisoned and become its warden.
Okay. And so, Heart, your veins ice over with the power of the Winter King, cleansing this orc's transformation from your muscles and joints, and re-knitting your chest and skin and bones where they'd been crushed by the fist of this Minotaur Lord. And you gasp a frosty breath into the air, and your eyes open, and you fall out of the winds of magic and into yourself. And you contain in your heart your miasma, and you retain the benefits that you have reaped from consuming it. But you know you have lied.
Okay.
And your friends feeling like holding you down are, they feel your body stop convulsing, and you gasp this frost into the air, eyes open. Nesgrin and Nabeen sitting over you. Nesgrin, as Heart regains himself, you feel your brother is on his way back to you when the philosopher fully releases this power that he's been focusing. And so we will come back to that in just a second. As Lillian and Celine, you have a chance here to stabilize the creation of this bridge. Basically, there are various degrees of success and failure here, where what's on the line is the philosopher himself. Can he do this without bursting apart or being consumed by the power? You two are obviously also in very close proximity to this whole process. And so this is the focusing efforts of chaotic sex magic and powerful loyalty, divine energy that the two of you are weaving with the philosopher here to drop this portal in a way that is the least destructive as possible.
Well, shoot. Is it a 2 incantation check thing?
That's up to you guys. If that is what you think, I feel like that's what Celine would do.
Lane's definitely doing incantation.
Lillian, you feel in this, like, just powerfully dense environment of magic and the winds, you feel that there is power to be drawn or energy to be drawn or focused or directed from the people who are standing here. You know, the soldiers are like huddled behind these barricades, just like dumbstruck, terrified of what's happening. You have this like circle of wolves and wild dogs that are howling with the philosopher as he screams through this power. You could, in some way, try and harness the belief and the like combined intent basically from them.
Check.
Was that?
Just make a leadership check.
I would allow a leadership check as you focus this intent from them through you to the Winter King. Because you know he's watching. And you say, let me show you what we can do with what we have here.
I gotta be the leader of the pack.
Alright, so I'm doing incantation, huh?
And I will
too
say
excited about it.
that both of these are minus 10. This power is unstable. It is ripping through him. That is so unlikely.
Seen more crits in this.
Nathan, what did you just do?
than
Is a
all
critical
of them.
success.
Hey, that.
Can I make up for his critical failure with my critical success?
Yes, we can call it a wash.
Oh god.
And what that means is there is danger. The philosopher is getting ready to drop this portal here. And it's going to be made of something.
Do I have
it's
any
made of
lingering
flesh.
connection? Do I sense that this is about to drop?
Made of flesh.
You sit up and you look around and there's that brief moment as if like going from dream to wakefulness where you realize like, oh shit, like this is still happening. I'm just
Yeah.
I'm me
Piss.
now. All right.
Yeah, so I believe that I would immediately wake up and say, we need to run.
So yeah, you turn to Korna, Nesgrin, Nabeen here, and you say, we need to run. Korna looks at you and looks at Nesgrin and Nabeen and says, I think I can help. Should I stay?
That's fine, but I don't think I can help anymore. And we need to go.
And she says,
Alright.
she turns to the three of you, and she says, get out of here. I don't know what's going to happen.
And I will
But
hop in my saddle and
do I feel complete or do I feel like
Oh,
I think it's missing?
Nesgrin is a little distracted here as you feel your brother like kind of trickling back to you, like his voice is slowly growing louder as the philosopher drops this energy into the square. And what was this like swirling of wind and energy and magic becomes a maelstrom. And you feel like it's almost like watching a paper airplane like hit a jet stream. He is just whipped away from you. off into this swirling magic here.
Damn, I missed something.
And
I see the hesitation on Nesgrin, and I say to him again, "We need to go."
I need to recover my half.
what was that?
I need to recover my other half. And
That's
I can't live
actually
without it.
so fucking sweet.
And
It's my
Cor-
soul. Come on.
Corna-
I need my soul. Come on.
as your brother is like torn into this like swirling maelstrom, Corna notices, and she like stops, and you can see she's like watching as your brother is like being like spaghettified in this magical energy here, and she turns to you and says, "I don't know what that was, but I can help you get it back. Do you need me to help you, or should I help him?" And she gestures as the philosopher is enacting the final stage of this ritual.
Hart picks up his sword and starts to run.
That's fair. Yeah, the wind is gale force. The sky is dark with only this like tiny halo where there isn't clouds as they swirl around this pillar of energy.
You help them. I managed to get it back. I will manage again.
Okay. And she says,
I
"Good luck."
Famous last words.
And I like glance between Hart and Nesgrin.
Go.
I'm like,
Not much
Can't do
sense
that.
you're here. What the fuck are you going to do here?
whenever you need me to.
this angry old little dwarf.
Versus the angry young halfling.
So,
Okay, your choice.
Celine, using your understanding of magic and the ways that it functions on a kind of like scientific experimental level, you reach into the power that the philosopher has here and try to contain it. Try to direct this like massive amount of energy. And when you kind of like peel open like his resolve here or whatever to look at it, it's like staring at the sun. This is like a nuclear strength energy reaction that he's containing here. And immediately you understand that there's no like structure that you can apply to this. There's no understanding of spellcraft or wizardry or the sort of like ordering of the winds or anything. You are immediately overwhelmed. Lillian, you tap into everyone here. Hart, the soldiers, even Celine in her own like twisted way is assisting you in serving the Winter King, and you pull this energy from each of these people. The soldiers stand to their feet and they look skyward. The wolves and dogs howl with you as you direct this power to like encase this energy, this uncontrolled power that the philosopher has here. And you see that Corna steps up and she begins to weave with you and weave with Celine and try and aid in the containment of this power. And her role is unfortunately a failure as well.
We spend
Oh
a fate
my
point.
You may spend a fate point to
was gonna
reroll
say,
it.
Let's spend a fate point.
Yeah,
At
you
least
can
you
spend a
spend a
you
fan
can
point
spend
for
a
her.
misfortune point.
Oh yeah.
You can spend a
Fortune.
misfortune
Yeah,
point.
Yeah, not a fate point. Yeah, fortune. That's much better.
There we
She
go.
succeeds.
Get
There
it,
you go.
Corna.
And
Not
so,
like that, Corna, like this! Follow my lead!
and she reaches into this like collective consciousness that you are channeling, and using her, like, instead of directly like trying to control the power that the philosopher is wielding, she manipulates this energy that you are condensing through the Winter King, adding her own power, channeling it into the places that she thinks she needs to. And the result of these cumulative successes and failures means that no one is hurt except for the philosopher. As this power, when he drops it here in the meridian, tears him apart. He is sundered both physically and spiritually. This like swirling energy corona like beam into the sky. It takes up the body of the Minotaur Lord. It pulls in chunks of stone. The statue here of the God King like shatters instantly and is drawn piecewise into this immense beam of power. And there's a
The pretender, right?
there's a second where all of the wind stops, and there's just this immense, glowing, faintly humming tower of pure magical energy, and it bursts outwards, washing over all of you, blasting all of the dust and debris from Meridian Square. And as the dust clears, Heart's running away, Nesgrin is peering into this like maelstrom. The soldiers like duck down behind the cover, and the wind gently picks up. A natural breeze blows the smoke and debris and dust from Meridian Square, and sitting kind of where the statue used to be, kind of where the philosopher and the body of the Minotaur used to be, is an ark that is constructed of flesh and steel and stone. And it sits unnaturally large, just motionless, dripping slightly, and then it speaks, and it's the philosopher's voice, as if 100 feet away, and he says, "I think I've done it. I've made a bridge." And the plane of reality underneath this arch shimmers and swirls, flickering with multicolored light, and boom, with a hum and an unnatural, like, your hair stands up on the back of your neck. It goes opaque with magical energy, and you know that this bridge will take you to the cave beneath the body of the dead Orcs god.
Fuck.
Dun, dun,
And
Dun dun dun.
dun, dun.
that's
Lynn's really
probably
disappointed.
an excellent place to stop, unless anyone has any pertinent questions.
No, I was just gonna say after the explosion, Hart turns around to come back and survey if anyone's hurt.
So nobody appears to be severely injured. There's like scrapes and cuts from like debris and stuff. But the philosopher is no more. He has been fully incorporated into this Arcway portal. The soldiers are standing around sort of appraising this like horrible construction with a little bit of like awe and fear and not understanding. Some of them are turning to Lillian looking for guidance. Hart is in his underclothes with his sword, alive. And
I'm like perfectly mended though. Like,
yeah, you are miraculously healed, whole of body.
I need a new breastplate. Yeah.
Nesgrin,
Yeah.
you hear your brother's voice. It doesn't emanate from your head. You hear him calling to you from the other side of the portal. And he says, "Please, I don't understand what's happened, but you have to come get me."
So I will start slowly walking towards the portal, and I will go. I will find you. Don't stop talking.
And the four of you see Nesgrin speak into the portal. She says, "We'll find you. Don't stop talking." And your brother, he says to you on the other side, way far away, he says, I think I have a body, but I don't understand." And that's where we will stop for this episode of Scarlet Sash Stories.
Damn.
Yeah.
Dun, dun.
I love how this has been like the final episode for the last like 3 or 4.
Yeah, it's
You
been a
right.
while.
This is usually how it goes.
Yeah.
Yep. And so
It's like in the movies, like you watch part 1. part
yeah,
2,
this
and
has
then
been
it has, like, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
This is Harry
This has
Potter
been-
and Deathly Hallows, Part 1.
the last episode, the climax, part 5.
So fun.
Terribly misnamed episode.
Yep. So our sash bearers have accomplished the goal that they seemingly set out to do. Actually, that was a good cliffhanger, but I wanna introduce one last thing before we officially stop. You guys are all standing here looking at this horrible mesh of orc's body and minotaur pieces and stone and steel. And from sort of behind you and a few feet in the air, there is the whip crack of a like sort of small magical explosion, and a feminine voice goes, "Oh shit!" And you hear landing on the ground behind the 5 of you, between your soldiers and you, crouching in sort of like a 3-point superhero landing pose. A dark-skinned elf looks up. She's missing an ear. She's got the upside-down hammer tattoo. And Agent Bruce looks around and says, "Well, not exactly what I expected, but I'm glad I could make it."
What the fuck?
Hot damn.
Holy.
And that's where we'll end this episode of Scarlet Sash Stories. And thank you for watching. This has been a production of Fiends and Friends in conjunction with ZweihanderRPG and the wonderful people at Grim and Perilous and Andrews McMeel Universal. I am Hunter. I am joined by my friends Nathan, Topher, Cody, Chris, and Ignacio. And we have a bunch of shit that we're going to plug before we end the stream. Tomorrow at noon Central Time on the Fiends and Friends Twitch channel, we will be having another climatic final battle.
There's an extra C in there. We're talking about my game now.
Climactic,
So
that's right.
Thank you.
Final battle in Pinehaven Havoc, the D&D Fantasy High campaign that we've been running for almost as long as Scarlet Sash Stories.
Yeah.
Where our nerd herd of high school heroes attempts to thwart the plans of an Arcanoloth to destroy our beloved city. On Monday, the nerd herd.
Oh, that's great. I realized you got
I
it printed.
love it.
Yeah, it
She's
was
had
all
that
guys
for a
printed.
while, bro.
I don't know how I never knew that.
Dude,
Yeah.
she had an Instagram post
Yeah.
about it, and I pointed it out.
Oh, hell. I'm
You're
an
just
idiot.
drunk.
On
Yeah.
Constantly doing the alcohol.
On Monday, we have episode 4 of Forbidden Frontier, our D&D 5th edition weird Western campaign that is just starting. We have a bunch of really interesting story threads to pursue there with family feuds and rootin' tootin' cowboys. So tune in Monday on the Fiends and Friends Twitch channel at 9 p.m. Central for that one. Wednesday coming up, we have Tales of Zadia as part of our new Fleeting Fiends Season 2, run by none other than your friend Hart, otherwise known as Topher, running Tales of Zadia, a tabletop RPG based on the Dragon Prince anime. And so we will be doing the playtest for that. And it seems like it's going to be very interesting. The system is substantially different than anything that I've ever played before.
I believe it's also Topher's first time running a game, isn't it?
With you guys, yeah.
Yeah, for
Oh,
us.
okay, so
Yep.
you have run others. Okay.
Yeah, it runs on the Cortex system, which I know there are other games that use that, but I've never done it before.
There are many dice that are rolled compared to many dice rolled by the opponent.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be fun.
Big old dice pools.
Right.
And then, of course, next Friday, episode 25 of Scarlet.
So 25 of the last episode.
Episode 25 of Scarlet Sash Stories.
The final episode.
The
part 25.
final episode. No, I never
Part
said.
25?
I never said that this was the final episode.
God.
I said that
Yeah,
this
you
was.
did.
No,
Like, I didn't either. I said
No, no,
dawn
no.
of the final day.
this is.
Totally different.
So, do we remember when we had to contact Daniel briefly to amend the beginning of a stream?
Listen,
That
all I remember is
was-
that Hart just walked away from an explosion like a cool guy. Okay? That's
The
all I
reason we did that.
Look at explosion.
The reason we did that is because I was talking about how this moment was the 3/4 of the way through this campaign. This has never been the final episode. So yeah,
Next
Friday.
week's the final episode.
Friday next week is the final episode.
Yeah.
No,
So if
absolutely.
he's wrong,
There is no way that Friday is the final episode, knowing you guys.
Maybe it's the first part of the final episode.
There we go. I could maybe live with that if you guys aren't mean to me about having like a 5-part final episode again.
Listen here, I'm always mean to you. Suck it up. Jesus.
That's fair.
Yeah, and tomorrow is Saturday, so all bets are off.
Yeah. That's
Saturday
fair.
is my day to be mean to you.
So with that, please follow us here on the ZweihanderRPG channel. They have a bunch of other shows that are really good. Follow us on the Fiends and Friends Twitch channel. The handle is Fiends and Friends. It's easy to find. We have a Discord that you can join if you want to play games with us. We've got Twitter and Instagram and fucking Snapchat and shit. It's all some variation of Fiends and Friends, and we have a link tree and all that. So please, if you enjoy this, check us out some more and
We
join
ain't on the
us.
ticky tacky yet.
Yeah, we got TikTok. We got Bumble and
We have a TikTok? We have a
Tinder
Bumble?
and
Oh, yeah.
we got it all.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, you can match with Nate.
You can match with Fiends and Friends.
Is this gonna be like a
We
matching
are
with the
package
group
deal
thing?
though, so
Yeah, it's a whole
prepare
thing.
for that if you match
Yeah.
with us.
And
It's like a
everybody else,
it's like a
this is gonna be rough.
polycule. Yeah.
When it says looking for a seventh, we are talking about D&D.
Yeah, definitely D&D. So with
When it
that,
says looking, when it says looking for a unicorn, we're talking about in the campaign.
like a literal
Yeah.
unicorn. Yeah.
Do you want to
Yeah.
mention Nikki's podcast?
Oh
as
yes. When is that going to be published? That's like it's in like 2
well? I'm
weeks
not
from
sure.
now.
I was just gonna say, keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah, so on the Beholder to No One podcast, an actual play series of shows run by Fiends and Friends friend Nikki. Two of our people, Nathan and Chris, just did a wonderful little session of what was the game called?
Guy Force.
Fungi Force, a TTRPG about being little mushroom dudes that Nate
Hell
ran
Hell
for
yeah,
that
I did.
podcast. And so
You can
I
see the
will.
spider bros.
Ooh.
Or hear about them, I guess.
I
You
will.
can
Just a
see
teaser.
the mushroom.
Yeah. I'll get the information about when that'll actually be published. I want to say it's later this month in like 2 weeks.
That
But
sounds
yeah,
great.
she's awesome. Her podcast is great. Check her out as well. Sweet. I think we're going to get off. Thank you for watching. You're
Yeah.
beautiful. We love you. And we will see you tomorrow.
Also,
Bye.